Good day, everyone, especially to you, Miss Liza Pickett. So, our topic is about exploration of gender dynamics within Indigenous cultures and the impact of intersectionality and Indigenous women's movement. This means we are looking at how gender roles and cultural traditions affect Indigenous women and how being both women and members of marginalized groups exposes them to multiple challenges. Indigenous women contribute greatly to their communities through livelihood, culture, and even informal leadership. However, they often face barriers when it comes to land rights, decision making, and access to opportunities. To understand this better, let's first look at the legal and policy frameworks that were created to protect Indigenous peoples and then connect these to the actual experiences of women on the ground. So, first, let us discuss the key legal and policy frameworks. So, the first is the Indigenous Peoples' Rights Act of or RA 8371. This is the main law that recognizes Indigenous peoples, their ancestral domains, and their collective rights. It also has gender provisions, but the reality is that gaps remain, especially in how it's applied in land rights, customary law, and decision making. Next is free prior informed consent or FPIC. This is required for any project within ancestral domains. Women are supposed to be included in consultations, but in reality, many, especially younger or less influential women, are still left out. Lastly, we have the customary law and tradition and formal justice systems. Indigenous communities often settle conflicts through traditional mediation. Some women are respected elders or mediators, but gender imbalances still make it hard for them to fully influence outcomes. So, moving on to gender dynamics and intersectionality. So, these frameworks play out in practice, especially for women. First, land and resource extraction. Projects like mining and dams threaten indigenous territories. Women often face a heavier impact, displacement, loss of livelihood, and even health risks, including reproductive health issues. Second is economic marginalization. Indigenous women often lack access to formal jobs, financial services, and public investment. On top of this, they balance subsistence work, wage labor, and household duties. Poverty and isolation make these challenges even worse. And lastly, we have the cultural and gender norms. Customs may restrict women from holding formal leadership positions. Councils and FPIC talks are often dominated by men, while women's voices are pushed aside despite their strong and formal influence in the community. So that will be for my part. Thank you, and once again, good day.